أهلا وسهلا معكم أختكم الزين الصباح. وحبيت أتواصل معكم اليوم وأشارككم بحوار خاص راح نقوم بتسجيله لمناقشة مبادرة ورشة الكتاب 6/6 التابعة للمجموعة الوطنية للصناعات الإبداعية أو نسيج بالشراكة مع نتفليكس. ليش هذه المبادرة اسمها 6/6؟ لأن راح نقوم باحتضان 6 كتاب مبدعين في 6 أسابيع، وراح نبتدي من دولة الكويت ونشرك معانا أخواننا وخواتنا الكتاب من المملكة العربية السعودية. بإذن الله تعالى إذا الله قدرنا بالنسخ الجاية من هذه الورشة راح نفتح المجال لجميع المبدعين بالعالم العربي. هذه المبادرة تعتبر الأول من نوعها في الشرق الأوسط وشمال أفريقيا، وهي عبارة عن ورشة كتابة تلفزيونية مكثفة ومصممة لاحتضان ال6 كتاب اللي قلنا عنهم، وراح يعملون المشاركين في مقر نسيج بالكويت بهذه الورشة على تطوير أفكارهم وأفكار مسلسلاتهم التلفزيونية الإبداعية باللغة العربية، وبناء عروض تقديمية لمشاريع جاهزة للسوق العالمي في 6 أسابيع. في نهاية البرنامج، يعني الأسبوع السادس من البرنامج، راح يقومون المشاركين بعرض مشاريعهم على فريق نتفليكس التنفيذي، وراح يكون لنتفليكس الحق الأول في اختيار المشروع أو المشاريع اللي يبونها وإجراء المزيد من التطوير مع صاحب المشروع مباشرة. عشان تتضح الصورة أكثر ونجاوب على الأسئلة المهمة اللي وصلتنا وخصوصا الأسئلة المكررة، راح أدخل معاي السيد كريس ماك من نتفليكس. لكن قبل لا أدخله خلنا أقول لكم بسرعة منو كريس ماك. كريس هو مدير مبادرة Grow Creative التابعة لنتفليكس. كان سابقا نائب أول أو Senior Vice President لشركة Stage 13 اللي توفر مساحات إبداعية للمحتوى الرقمي الجديد وتدعم جيل واعد من المواهب والأصوات الإبداعية المميزة. هناك أشرف كريس على النصوص الأصلية وقوائم التطوير اللي تشمل أنواع عديدة من الإنتاج، منها أعمال نتفليكس اللي كانت مرشحة للأميز. وقبل أن يعمل كريس بستيج 13 ترأس ورشة عمل تحت مظلة وارنر براذرز المختصة ببرنامج كتابة وإخراج للمبدعين اللي ودهم يعملون بقطاع الإنتاج وصناعة المحتوى، أو ودهم بعد يعززون حياتهم المهنية في قطاع التلفزيون تحديداً. فوق هذا كله عمل كريس على إنتاج برامج تلفزيونية مثل سمولفيل وتو أند هاف من، وقبل حتى ما يكون في وارنر براذرز اشتغل لمدة 7 سنين ككاتب بأهم المسلسلات الدرامية اللي يمكن سمعنا فيها مثل ER, The New Twilight Zone و The Practice. عشان ما أطول عليه وما أطول عليكم أكثر، خلنا ندخل معانا السيد كريس ماك. So I wanted to speak to you a little bit about Lab 6/6 and just generally why we put it together. But before we jump into that kind of subject, let's talk a little about Grow Creative and what you guys are doing at Netflix.
Yeah, so as you know, we make content all over the world, and we make a lot of it, right? And we've looked at the data, and we have predicted that, you know, in 5 years' time, maybe even sooner, we're not sure we're going to have enough storytellers or key roles in below the line productions to make sure that we can, you know, meet our aspirational content growth strategies. So Grow Creative is our attempt to make sure that the local creative talent pools all over the world, the ecosystems, are healthy for the next generation. And so we do it by partnering with people such as yourself who share the same passion and create programs to help ensure that we meet those goals. So that's basically Grow Creative. We're all over the world. I cover what we call local language series and film, and that is, you know, EMEA. In EMEA, that includes the Middle East. There's APAC, Asian Pacific, and LATAM, which is Latin America. So everywhere except the US. And they have their own version of Grow Creative there.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. So what you mentioned is, you know, finding alignment really with like-minded kind of producers and storytellers on the ground and making sure that we align our interests so that we can be able really to co-nurture the talent community moving forward. And I think this is where that was kind of the sweet spot where we met as well. And I think we see eye to eye when it comes to really building an ecosystem that is super healthy when it comes to not just the legislation and all that good stuff, but more importantly, at a grassroots level, the quality of writing, especially as it pertains to this part of the world. And so let's talk a little bit about, I think, Lab 66, just so that we understand kind of the context of seeing Grow Initiative applied to a small program, at least from this part of the world. So if you'll allow me, I'm getting a lot of questions about, what exactly is Lab 66 and how did it happen? It didn't happen as a miracle. It was a lot of hard work that Netflix was doing and Netflix was doing, but it just happened that the stars aligned and we decided, hey, let's just do this together, right? So very, very interestingly, so Netflix, NCIG, acronym for NCIG, in Arabic means bringing together different components or weaving together different components. And that's essentially what we're doing here. So basically, Lab 66, as we mentioned, it's 6 weeks, 6 creators from Saudi and Kuwait. We've pretty much built a whole curriculum around this idea of incubation and how to move forward and what are the pain points. And we hope that through this curriculum, we're going to be addressing these pain points. So the lab takes place in Kuwait at the Netflix Studio campus, and it's 6 continuous weeks because, Chris, a lot of people have been asking us, is it 6 weeks that are, like on and off, or do we need to be on site? And yes, you need to be on site in Kuwait. This is not a virtual lab. It's super intensive, super, super intensive. The curriculum each week is designed with craft-driven interventions in mind. And for instance, in week 1, we have a special intervention from the New York Film Academy, and the NIFA's team will be granting certificates of course completion to all our participants at the end of week 1, which is a fantastic thing. And then after that, week 2 to 6, we're going to divide our creators into 2 writers' rooms. Each writer's room will be overseen by a best-in-class showrunner and script consultant. They'll serve as mentors for the full length of the program. And the mentors will essentially work extensively with our creators on building pitch decks ready to pitch to Netflix at the end of week 6. And throughout the duration of the program also, the lab will have 4 virtual masterclasses presented by industry professionals. And spoiler alert, Chris is going to be teaching that first masterclass in week 2. And we're going to be announcing the rest of the names of program team members. And I promise you won't be disappointed. As far as we're getting a lot of questions, Chris, about what is pitch deck and what is a pitch deck and why is it important? I'll let you take that one.
Yeah. So when I first got here 2 years ago, the creative executives on teams all over the world were asking me to figure out how to train writers in pitching ideas to us because they were coming in all shapes and sizes, right? We would get one paragraph that says, this is my idea and I'll give you some money and a writer's room will let me go. And then we were getting, documents that were 100 pages. It's important that you get your ideas down that are clear and concise. So when we read them to see what your ideas are, we know what they are. We know who the protagonists are. We know what's driving the story. We have a sense of the world and the tone and a sense of the first season story, right? And so the more clarity there is to that, the better we can make a decision on whether your project is right for us. And it's all, we think there's best practices. It doesn't have to be one way or the other, but as long as you have some kind of structure, just like storytelling, there's structure, it increases your chances for success.
It is also a good step or a first step in the right direction if you have a strong pitch deck, for sure.
Correct. Correct.
So
execution is a totally different subject, right?
That's another ballgame. Right. And that's the question that's coming up now. Actually, what happens if a participant's project is not chosen by Netflix at the end of the program? And I'll take this one, and then you can, if I forget anything, please feel free to chime in, because I need to state this. And honestly, I think this is the most beautiful part of this lab. Why I say this is quite literally, because you can't go wrong by joining a lab like this. If you do get in, first of all, you own your IP completely. So the work you submit at Lab 66 is completely protected and owned by the writer-creator. And if a participant's project is just not picked up for further development or production by Netflix, the development right belongs to the writer-creator still. And so he or she is free to shop them or take it anywhere they like after that. For me, this is the beauty, again, of the program, because I just have to give credit to Netflix for working with us on this. This is something that is super unique and further shows that Netflix and the Grow Initiative are truly committed to nurturing and empowering talent.
No, thank you for that. I think it's important because we know, that some of our competitors have come in and kind of, snatched up talent and, kept them for themselves. But, our true goal is just to make sure that talented individuals, no matter where they are in the development and production process, have access to the information to make them better at what they do. And at the end of the day, if they don't want to work with us, that's fine. They can go work with somebody else, as long as they're getting the experience to, use some of those learnings that we shared with them, right? We think that Netflix has a lot to offer in terms of how we work with filmmakers, and then the potential for people all over the world to see what you have to say about the world. We have governments and ecosystems all over the world realizing, with the success of shows like Casa de Papel and Squid Games, that your story can be a universal story that can be seen by, with the flip of a switch, by tens of millions of people all over the world at the same time. And I think that's a really unique position for storytellers to be in this day and age, when I think as artists, all we really want to do is to say something about humanity and have somebody respond to it. So we're really excited about the opportunity we're going to be presenting to all your writers in the region, for sure.
We're super excited to see, really to see just the crop of incredible talent coming out of this program. So another question is, what happens if Netflix does choose my program at the end of Lab 66? And I'll also hear, if you allow me to answer, it's going to be a separate agreement. You enter between yourself and the creator and Netflix, and that agreement will essentially define the terms and conditions of that engagement. We hope that all 6 make it, but it's really in their hands at this point. As creators, it's in your hands.
Yeah, we're not limiting how many we choose, right? It could be all 6 or 0. It definitely has to make sense for, our service. There will be some guidance along the way. So hopefully there's a potential for each idea to, make it to the top. And if we do decide to work with you, we'll option your idea and pay you to develop it. Give you a writer's room, and maybe even some, international talent to help you develop it, to make sure that, to give you an assist to make sure that it, it becomes the best version of what you want. And then in successive development, we give it a green light to go to production. In the best case scenario, you're producing a show on Netflix, and it ends up on the service at some time in the future, and you can call up all your friends and family and say, tune into Netflix in 2023 or something, and check out what I created. So that's the goal.
That is the goal, absolutely, Chris. And so now I'm sure everybody's just asking, how can I apply? Where can I apply? And when is the closing date for applications? All this information is available on our site. So I don't want to take everybody's time and answer those. However, I think there's important notes that I need to add here, just because I'm seeing the feedback that I'm getting. And, I just need to stress that whoever applies to this program, please, please, please do keep in mind that we're looking for authentic, original ideas. We're looking for writers and creators with an Arabic language episodic TV project in the early stages of conceptualization or development, because a lot of people are asking us, Chris, if they can submit full scripts. we don't mind. We don't mind submitting full scripts. However, we want to look at the synopsis. We want to look at the treatment. We want to see kind of just the mechanics of the story, and then we can start to develop the actual meat of it all during the lab. Also, we need to note that all applicants must own their IP completely to the project before submitting it. And if they don't own the IP for some reason, we just want to make sure that it doesn't infringe on the IP rights or other rights of third parties. So that's important. And another question, Chris, we had is, do I need to speak English? Do I need to have that kind of proficiency in English? And I know it's, for some people, perhaps it's difficult, and I absolutely understand, but because we have so many interventions that are happening from English speakers, to translate to Arabic isn't going to give them the gist of the content as effectively as we like, because everything's happening in real time. So we prefer that an applicant speak or be able to communicate in English to be able to get just this most, benefit more from this lab. I don't know. That's I think those are pretty much the general. I'm looking through the list. I think that's pretty much it for now. But all other information about application requirements and program dates and lab schedules, etc., are available online, and we'll put the website here as well for everybody to check out. Any last thoughts, Chris? Anything I've forgotten?
No, I think that's it in terms of the housekeeping of everything and what we're trying to accomplish. But I would just encourage everyone to submit something. You never know what's going to happen. I like to say I've been blessed with lots of success in my life, but I've been blessed with more failures. And it's from those failures that I learn.
Ditto.
Yep. Right. So you never know until you try. And we plan on being here for multiple years. So if you don't get it this time, maybe next time, and then you just get better at it. But we need you. We need your voices and your talent, and hopefully we can partner in helping you tell the best version of whatever story you want to tell. I would encourage everyone to think big, right? I know a lot of you have, done local television, and not judging, what they do. I know there's a lot of fantastic programming coming out of the broadcasters. I know a lot of you come from film, and, just by the nature of the economics, you have to think small so you can create something that somebody would want to make, right?
That's true.
And
that's very
true. If you think of all the shows that we've done, or a number of the shows that we've done, they're big concept, big ideas, but they have real human emotion at the center of it. So I would encourage everyone to think of what's that big Middle East idea that's going to compete with Squid Games. What's that Middle East Stranger Things? And if you have a small story, we do those too. I would encourage people to watch Ethos out of Turkey, which is very small but impactful. So yeah, just bring all kinds of ideas to the table, and we will look at them, and we will put the ones that we think are going to entertain not only people in the Middle East, but all over the world. So good luck with that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. We look forward to seeing you guys and having everybody with us. And we're here. We're waiting. December 1st, we close submissions. So get on your computers and start submitting. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.